Welcome to the real world. I am Cameron. This is Carson.
That's right.
We just got out of seeing A Complete Unknown.
Yes, indeed.
In theaters right now. This is the Bob Dylan biopic from director James Mangold, who did great movies like Walk the Line.
That's right.
I'm a huge fan of this director. He just did the new Indiana Jones movie, Dial of Destiny.
Yes.
Night and Day.
Yep.
Identity. He's done so many great films.
That's right.
And this is his latest, and it might be his greatest. Get our thoughts right now. Thank you so much for joining us here in the real world. Make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified of all our videos. This is the A Complete Unknown review.
That's right.
And reaction.
Yeah, we just got out of the theater, literally just
got out
a
of
few
the
minutes
theater.
ago.
And here we are.
What a film. What a film.
What a film. It's. I'm just going to come right out and say it. Might be my favorite film of the year.
Wow.
It is utterly fantastic.
That's high
Everything
praise.
about it.
It's high praise.
It's so well crafted.
Right.
These are master filmmakers. James Mangold, as I mentioned, is
Yeah.
one of my favorite directors working today. He did Logan.
For sure.
So many other great movies that he's made over the course of his career. Different kinds of movies, too.
Yeah.
You know, he's done some westerns. You know, he's did 3:10 to Yuma.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, Walk the Line over here, another one of my favorite biopics.
Definitely. And that's I think the number one thing I wanted to bring up is, and going into this movie, I had basically no expectations. I don't know much about Bob Dylan.
Sure.
I didn't know like the history of even when really he was a big thing, and or any of the people involved in his career.
Right. I had a little more knowledge. I'm a little bit more of a Dylan fan than you are.
Sure. Yeah. For sure.
So I had a little bit more knowledge. I didn't have in-depth knowledge,
Right.
or anything, but we both came away happy with this. I think you liked it.
I definitely enjoyed it, and I think going back to what you said earlier, the thing I enjoyed most about it were Mangold's Western sensibilities bleeding through.
Yes.
So this is a story about folk music,
Right.
and about the transition from what kind of the golden era of folk music was from the 50s and early 60s into what became Bob Dylan's new brand of folk music that kind of bled into the 70s.
Right. With going electric, that was kind of the big turning point.
Exactly. And that's like when you're talking about Western as a genre.
Right.
Western had a very similar transition.
Yeah, from John Wayne.
In film, from John Wayne's 50s straight-laced, like the movie Shane, which I love.
Sure.
Leading into Clint Eastwood's era.
Yes.
Of the gritty,
anti-hero.
the gruff, the morally ambiguous characters.
Right.
And he is definitely a
Clint
morally
Eastwood
ambiguous Clint Eastwood character.
Of the folk scene.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, he came in and shook things up in a big way.
And he's shot like that in this movie. He's definitely
yes.
presented as this kind of drifter, mysterious
outsider,
character with a mysterious past.
Right.
You don't know where he comes from.
Exactly.
He's just this drifter who comes and brings this new brand of music that no one's ever seen or heard before.
Yeah.
So
it's a brilliant way to do it. It's a brilliant way to frame the story. And Mangold's the perfect guy to bring that to us. As I said, he's done westerns before. He's done these biopics before. And Johnny Cash even shows up in this one again, which was really cool.
I actually really like his role a lot in this movie.
The cast is great. Let's talk about the cast. Because Timothée Chalamet, one of our favorite actors working today. I mean, truly. I mean, you got Dune, of course, which is phenomenal. You got Wonka, another one of our favorites.
Right.
Our family watches this all the time. And he proved, again, that he can do anything. I mean, this guy is incredible.
Ever since Interstellar, he's always been he's been a pretty great actor.
Nolan's got that eye for talent.
That's right.
And so, he did a great job here. Totally captured the voice of Dylan. He's doing all his own singing.
Yeah.
The mannerisms, the posture. I mean, there's so many things. A guy like Dylan who's so quirky in his look and in his mannerisms, it's so difficult to nail that, and he nails it.
Yeah, and it's a really interesting version of Bob Dylan as a character. Because it's not, it doesn't feel like the real life person Bob Dylan.
Not necessarily.
It feels like a folk tale version of him.
Yeah.
That's kind of this, again, very mysterious drifter type character.
Right.
Who you're not given much information about.
Yep, absolutely.
So I like that aspect of the performance a lot, that he manages to keep it mysterious.
Yes, absolutely. But for a character like that, a real life person who's been around for so long, people know him so well.
There's so much expectation.
You kind of have to nail those certain things that are Dylanisms, if you will.
Yeah.
And he did it completely.
For sure.
Boyd Holbrook as Johnny Cash, we both mentioned. We really liked his performance a lot. Did not feel like a caricature. Felt like a real guy.
That was
and he had a great role to play
in
in the film, in the story of Dylan. Elle Fanning
Yep.
is wonderful here. There's so many other great actors. Dan Fogler, we both like a lot. He's great in this. Ed Norton. Edward Norton is
I was going to
wonderful
say Ed
in this
Norton,
movie.
probably my favorite character in the movie.
Yeah, he's great.
And one of my favorite performances. Definitely, he just acted as the kind of moral center
Right.
to Bob Dylan,
Yeah.
and to the story, really.
And
That's kind of this very innocent, and I love there's a great juxtaposition shot going from them playing all this electric music with
Right.
all this experimental weird instruments and stuff
Yes.
in studio
Right.
to a TV show
Yes.
with
right.
with his character
Hard
where
cut,
he's
yeah.
just like holding a banjo, very, very ordinary,
Talking to the kids.
straight laced, talking to the kids. It's a family show, folks.
Right.
I love that
So well
juxtaposition,
done.
and I think
So well done.
that really that's the movie to me.
Yes, 100%.
That,
It's a movie in a
that is
nutshell.
the contrast. That is the that's what they're saying here.
Yeah.
That's what the movie's really about.
Scoot McNairy is the other guy I had to mention who is playing Woody Guthrie. Phenomenal performance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Such a difficult role.
Yeah,
No speaking lines at all.
yeah,
He's on the tail end of his life, in very poor health, but man, what he's able to convey just
sure.
through his eyes and through his mannerisms
Right.
and things is really powerful. So, huge fan of the cast. The cinematography is gorgeous. I mean, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Has that classic look, filmic look, as cinema should. Especially movies like this that are set in the past, I feel like should really
Sure.
look that
yeah,
way.
yeah.
And then, the music. I mean, people are going to be obviously curious about, does he sound like Dylan? Are there a lot of Dylan songs in it? Yes, it's full of Dylan songs. The
Yeah.
songs tell the story. And he sounds phenomenal.
Yeah, I would say there's definitely a lot of music here.
Yeah.
I mean, every Bob Dylan song I know, as someone who's again not a huge Bob Dylan fan, was played.
Correct.
So all of his most well-known songs were there.
Sure.
And yeah, I like most about it because what I like most about it is every performance when they're playing music
Yeah.
has some kind of emotional subtext
Totally.
to
Totally.
the performance.
You're constantly going to, who's backstage
Right.
or, things like that are kind of
there's
telling the
because
story.
of the scene before, now they're probably thinking about this,
Yes, yes.
or they think this of that person.
Yep, exactly.
So it's a very interesting. It's very interesting to see how their performances come out through those moments.
Yep. Yeah, it's almost a musical. You can almost call this a musical because it is chock full of music.
Sure.
I mean, it's a music biopic, so
Right,
obviously there's
right.
going to be a lot of music in it. But
They don't spontaneously combust into music.
No,
but,
right. But the music
in the
does
same,
tell the story.
In the same sense, when they are singing,
Right.
they are singing from the heart.
Right.
What they're feeling.
what they're going through. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So great on that level. Very well edited. At 2 hours and 20 minutes, it blew by for me. I mean, I was just totally engrossed the whole way through.
I think it felt a little bit long. I
Okay.
definitely felt the 2 hours.
Okay.
But toward the end, it really revved up. It
The
really,
ending had my heart beating out of my chest.
Yeah.
I mean, there's this decision he kind of has to make
Right.
at the end of the movie that was just like, what is he going to do,
Yeah. And there was a great,
Even though in the back
there
of my
was a
mind, I
great,
guess I knew, but...
Yeah, there were some great subversions of tropes.
Correct.
That are
There
found in biopics that
are.
I enjoyed
Yes.
and appreciated.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's a very unique biopic.
Sure.
It is different
Sure.
from most.
Yeah.
It doesn't hit all those beats
Right.
that you tend to think, because Dylan's life was very different.
It is the middleman between Walk the Line
Yep.
and Inside Llewyn Davis.
Yeah.
Where
yeah.
Inside
Those
Llewyn
would be good
Davis
ones to watch
is
with
like
this.
so detached from reality and from
right,
any
right.
kind of true story
Sure.
that it manages to be a more artistic telling of folk musicians in general.
Sure.
Whereas Walk the Line is more...
Straight biopic.
It's a straight biopic about the hard facts of his life and what was going on at the time.
Yep.
This is kind of, like I said, in between. So it has some mythological aspects to it,
Sure.
and it has some real-life events.
Great
So,
point.
yeah, it definitely seems... It is the middleman between Walk the Line and Inside Llewyn Davis.
Yes, I totally agree. Hair, makeup, costumes, production design, all the other aspects of this production are fantastic as well. I see this as an Oscar frontrunner for the Oscars coming up in just a couple months.
I felt a few Oscar baity moments. There were some performances and scenes and lines that I can definitely see being played on the Oscar screen.
Yes.
But yeah, great supporting roles all around.
Great supporting roles. Great, just a great, well-made film. This is what cinema is about for me.
Overall, I recommend this movie. I think it's worth watching for general audiences. I think they're going to enjoy it. I'd say I'd give it 3.5, maybe 4 stars,
Wow.
which... It's high praise. It's high praise.
It's a positive review.
For someone who's not a huge Bob Dylan fan,
Sure.
didn't know much about this.
Sure.
I'm looking at it just as a movie.
Right.
I think it works totally well on its own.
Right.
And yeah, that's definitely my recommendation.
I highly recommend it. Not only do I highly recommend it, it might be my most highly recommended movie of the year. I give it full 5 stars. It's one I can't wait to watch again. I think this deserves all the awards. Throw them at it. I think it's well deserved. I think it's well made. I think it's brilliant, honestly. So I'm a huge fan of this. So we want to know what you guys think. Leave us a comment down below. Make sure you tell us what you think of the film if you got to see it. Let us know if, like me, do you think this is one of the best of the year? Do you think there are some Oscar-worthy performances or aspects to the film? We want to have a conversation with you about A Complete Unknown in the comments down below. So make sure you leave those. Make sure you follow us on Letterboxd.
Yes.
Those links are in the description below. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can follow us there. You can also get tickets to the movie. So check us out. We'll go ahead and sign off now, but look forward to talking to you guys in the new year with all the amazing things that are going to come in 2025 on the channel. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you come back. Make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified of all our videos, and we'll see you next time right here on The Real World.